What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today we have an extremely good video because we got some leaks and information regarding Black Ops 6. And let me tell you something. If this doesn't scream in your face right now that Xdefiant is one of the leading causes for, any of the stuff that we are seeing right now within the Call of Duty community, I don't know what else to tell you, man. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget, subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 morning Eastern time. Mostly Xdefiant recently, but of course, as more information for Black Ops 6 drops, in the upcoming weeks. And I think, actually, believe it or not, today we're going to see a little information on Black Ops 6. I personally am not expecting that much information to be shown. But, I'm still going to check it out. I'll probably have a video out about that on Monday. And also on Monday, we're going to have a Ubisoft event that they're going to be showcasing more stuff for Xdefiant. So if you guys actually want to watch me stream that and watch it with us live and in action, I will be streaming that event on Monday over on Twitch. You guys can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now with that out of the way, let's get into the juicy details of today's topic. Guys, like I said, a lot of information has been coming out about Black Ops 6 recently. And that was already the first, big flag that I've noticed when it comes to this game, is that we have never, ever seen them go ahead and hype up a Call of Duty game like this so early on. Typically, we wouldn't know anything about the next upcoming game, not even the title of the game. Realistically, I'm being so serious with you guys. They are so patient, even when it comes to competition, like Battlefield 2042 and Halo, when we're having that big FPS phase. They were still so calm and just chill with it. They didn't rush anything. Now, you could say that it's because Microsoft is now in charge, and Black Ops 6 is the longest development cycle for any COD game, and they know the hype revolved around it, and maybe they're just ready. Maybe they're a little ahead of schedule. Like I said, they never had a COD game being developed this long. Realistically, if they could release a game like Modern Warfare 3, which I've said time and time again, I know everybody has a problem with it, especially when it comes to skill-based matchmaking, but when it comes to performance, servers are a bit rough right now, but that was probably the best performing game right out the box compared to any of the other past games in the 5 years that we've been grinding this crap out here. Usually it takes months until it can actually function. Modern Warfare 3 wasn't as bad as I expected. Yeah, maybe they didn't have to put in as much work because it kind of had the Modern Warfare 2 template, but still wasn't shabby. So an extra year, who knows? Maybe they're a little ahead of schedule here, and they just feel good to start pushing out content like this. But like I said before, I don't think that's the case. I think Xdefiant has a big play in this, guys. The first leak right here, as you can see from Charlie Intel, breaking leak claims the classic prestige system is returning in Black Ops 6. Guys, is this a shocker right now? And it's funny, too, because I remember back in Modern Warfare 3, Sledgehammer Games, it almost seemed like they wanted to introduce a prestige system. Because when they were asked that question, remember when they had that little, interview, and they were asked that question, and they looked extremely disappointed. Like, it's almost like they wanted to put it in the game. But again, because they didn't even know if the game was going to be a full-fledged out game or if it was going to be DLC, and they were trying to figure out what the heck is going on, they just didn't have the time to realistically put that together. So maybe it was already in plan, but you have to keep in mind as well that all this stuff that happened with Modern Warfare 3, even them wanting to do Prestige, was around the time when Xdefiant was getting all the hype, when we already knew that we're getting a Prestige system, and we already knew that this game plays, really good, and a lot of Call of Duty players are going to be enjoying Xdefiant. All that stuff, all of the stuff I'm talking about with Modern Warfare 3 happened during Xdefiant, so this right here, even though it seemed like they were already in the works with it in Modern Warfare 3, and I guess Treyarch just took it and ran with it, who else brought this to us, right? Like, I'm being real here, guys. Why? Why now? Why now did they choose to put a prestige system back into COD? Why now? Out of all these years when we've been begging for this to return into this game year after year after year after year, why do they choose now? That's my biggest question. And that's not the only leak here, ladies and gentlemen. We have another leak. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will reportedly feature omnidirectional movement that will allow players to sprint and dive in any direction. Think of something like Helldivers 2. I think they showcased Max Payne in the comment section to kind of describe what this is. But, in my terminology, think of Helldivers 2. You know what I'm saying? How you can dive backwards or dive to the left or dive to the right or dive forwards. You could do that in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Or you could just simply sprint in that direction. So if you want to sprint only holding left, apparently you could do that. Again, we don't know how that's going to play. I'm not sure if that's going to be good, if it's going to be bad. It's going to be interesting to try out and obviously critique and give my opinion on this. But this is their attempt at adding more movement into the game. They already tried to do so with Modern Warfare, 3 here. And again, it's hard for them. Still to this day, there are fixing problems that Infinity Ward gave them, okay? That's why I feel like, Sledgehammer can only do so much when it comes to giving the players freedom with movement. Because again, they're working with Modern Warfare 2 template and trying to fix everything that Infinity Ward gunked up. And they're doing a great job. They really did. They did a phenomenal job. They quite literally made what Modern Warfare 2 was supposed to be, 1010%. They perfected that game in every way possible, and they did a great job doing so. But Treyarch has had a whole 4 years without having to worry about working off of the Modern Warfare 2 template. Maybe a similar engine, but they could still, put forth their own vision and have the time to do so without worrying if this game is going to be DLC or if it's going to be a full-fledged out game. And I know everybody's going to say, well, technically it is DLC. Listen, the only reason that they're labeling it DLC is so they can transfer all the content over again and again and again. It's a smart business play. And honestly, for the consumer, this is good because, everything that's purchased within these games is going to be kept throughout all the other titles. I don't know how long that's going to last. Who knows? But I think this is a pretty decent idea, especially for people who might have a little money or a little skin in the game, right? At least it's going to last longer than your typical other COD games where you buy it. And it's such a waste of money. Like, why spend $20 in the store when it's going to be irrelevant a year later, right? But back to what I was saying. Treyarch had 4 years to go ahead and do this. So, they had more time and freedom to put this together. But again, why now? Why give us, everything the community has been asking for now? Why are you trying to quicken up the pace of the game now? Why are you trying to give us what the community's been asking for when, regarding an arcade-style experience? Why? And again, I didn't talk about this previously when it was first initially announced, but I'm sure all of you guys have already heard, about this from other content creators, but the possibility of having no skill-based matchmaking in Black Ops 6, apparently behind the scenes, there's been talks of removing it, or at least, if anything, toning it down and making it similar to, I guess, what we have within Xdefiant. Again, if that happens, that would be phenomenal, but I will ask you again, why now? Why? Again, yeah, Microsoft picking up Activision could have a huge play in it, but it just seems so oddly convenient that literally the second Xdefiant goes live and we're getting all this good stuff, and they also match up double XP weekends with Xdefiant, and they match up putting out double XP when Xdefiant was having betas in the past. They literally coordinate so perfectly. It's insane. It's almost creepy at times, but it just makes me think, why are these developers getting the freedom now? And I'm not saying the developers are copying Xdefiant. Believe it or not, I think the developers wanted to do this for a long time. I think that they wanted to make something that the community asked for ages. It's just the fact that Activision was holding them back completely. That's what I personally believe. So I'm not saying the developers aren't being creative here. They can do whatever they want. I'm interested in seeing what they are going to do here. I'm not saying they're copying Xdefiant whatsoever, right? I'm just saying, isn't it oddly convenient that the developers finally get this freedom? They're finally able to open up and work with the community and do things that we ask. They're finally able to discuss certain things and, change core things that we want. Isn't it odd that all of this stuff happens right around Xdefiant? But I will say this, regardless if it was because of Xdefiant or not, who cares? This right here is good news. Now, the skill-based matchmaking thing is going to have to be crucial for Black Ops 6. If there's skill-based matchmaking, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because even in Modern Warfare 3, I enjoyed Modern Warfare 3. I enjoyed what Sledgehammer has to offer in that game. But I still get tons of hate for, thinking that, because people just don't like the game because of literally skill-based matchmaking. I don't think anything could be done to Black Ops 6. Anything. Not a single thing in this world could be done that could make it any good as long as skill-based matchmaking is still present, at least in the eyes of the community. So I think that's going to be the biggest factor. But if Xdefiant did do a nice big step here to prove that no skill-based matchmaking is good, it can actually benefit your game, and they're going to follow suit, then I don't see anything wrong with that. We can have two fantastic games side by side. It's something that I've been saying for ages now. It's no reason for Xdefiant to destroy COD. COD, if they're going to destroy anything, they're going to destroy themselves. That's it. not Xdefiant, but they can live side by side, and Xdefiant can present that competition that can hopefully make Call of Duty step up their game when it comes to multiplayer. Because at a certain point, the multiplayer guys are just going to leave, and Call of Duty will literally be a battle royale game. It will be no longer a multiplayer game. It will be a battle royale game. People will get the game for basically Warzone, and maybe to grind out attachments and multiplayer, but that's it. The player count will be practically zero if they don't step up their game. And if they do step up their game, then this is great, because we have a great style arcade game that has these hero abilities like Xdefiant, and then we'll have our Call of Duty experience with streaks and all the other stuff that we love about Call of Duty, except it'll actually be functional because of no skill-based matchmaking. This right here is exactly what we've been all waiting for. And even though I know that people are still going to hate or say something bad about it, I think that more people should be positive, because this is only going to be better for the future of, us FPS fans, especially people who have been craving a good Call of Duty game. This might be good for all of us. But, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And, of course, if you guys are interested in any more content, I do stream pretty much daily over on Twitch. I won't be live today, though. Not on Sunday, but back on Monday. And we're going to be streaming that new Ubisoft event, showcasing Xdefiant and stuff. So if you guys want to, tune in, I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.